that I used to be able to do that I can't do. It's, Lord, I used to be able to do all this stuff. Why do I get so tired? Why am I so worn out? They're prunings. And his question is, so what are you going to do with it, Rick? It is there. What are you going to do with it? You've been pruned. Third, it says healthy branches bear fruit. So Jesus assumes that the healthy branches, in verse 5, he says they bear much fruit. What this fruit is, he doesn't say. For many folks in the Christian church, we think the fruit is evangelism. We say, oh yeah, you got to go out and you got to save souls. Well, first of all, we don't save any souls. Christ saves souls. We take the message. Now, that is part of our fruit. But the other part of your fruit is who you are. The other part of your fruit is being a good friend, being a parent, being a grandparent, being a neighbor, being whatever it is. Come alongside. Evangelism through relationship. Relational evangelism. I've said 100 times when I learned to teaching a long time ago, the kids never cared how much I knew until they knew how much I cared. And the same is true about us. Instead of spending our time and telling our friends, you're going to go to hell if you keep living the way that you're living, maybe we could come alongside of them, be their friend, and maybe just talk with them. What is it in your life that drives you to be this way? What is it in your life that leads you to be so angry? What is it in your life that has you so depressed? And then someone looks at you and says, how do you get through it all? A week ago we went to see God is not dead too. And that is one of the questions that got the teacher in trouble when her student looked at her and said, Ms. Wesley, how do you get through it all? And she just looked at her and she said, Jesus. She didn't have to go stand on the street corner and preach and sing songs. She sat at a coffee shop. Student came to the coffee shop outside of school, wanted to talk to her, and there she was. God will take care of that. Her pruning, her living through life, her having to live with a grandparent, her living through things gave her the opportunity to identify with another individual. Others think fruit is just doing lots of good. They went to Our Daily Bread this morning. They go once a month. They go out there. Great opportunity if you've never tried and you want to go. We go once a month. But it isn't just doing good things. A lot of people do good stuff, but some of us do good things while attached to the vine. Jesus is simply saying that the Christians who are truly attached to the vine, they act like healthy, vital branches. The branches that are healthy on my rose bush can't do anything except be that. The irony is, as humans, we can be healthy and we can act unhealthy as heck. I don't want anybody to know, I just want to be mopey today. We make those choices. And yet, we're saying, God doesn't want me to be mopey, but I feel mopey, so I'm going to be. We miss the pruning. So who do you say I am? That's where we started this. Jesus looked at his disciples and he said, who do people say I am? And then he looked at them and said, who do you say I am? And I challenged us with the second one. If it was important enough to ask the apostles, it's important enough to be asked to each of us. And Christians need to be able to answer it. If you can't answer this when someone looks at you and they say, who do you say Jesus is? Then you've got a problem. If you have never accepted Christ, if you've never stood up when somebody said to stand up, or you've never sat down when somebody said to sit down for your belief in Christ, then maybe it's because you don't understand who he is. Maybe you're becoming out on the edge of that vine that hasn't been pruned. But we're still attached. None of us have been cut off. We're still alive. So we're still attached to the vine. We just may need a little pruning, may need a little waking up. So today is the day to pray for that forgiveness, to pray for that reconciliation, which is only through Christ. To pray that you've been pruned and that you'll grow and get new branches. To know who Jesus is. So that when someone looks at you and says, who do you say Jesus is? And they'll usually follow up and say, because I don't really believe in it, or I'm not so sure about it. Or maybe it's going to be our grandkids who look at us and say, why do you go to church? And you're going to talk to them about God's love and all this, and they're going to say, oh, so how do you do that? Oh. Are we living it? Do we show that we are pruned branches? We must be attached to the vine. We can't separate. We can't have church me and work me. There is me attached to the vine. It doesn't mean you got to be a preacher at church, but you got to be in relationship, because Christ was in relationship. He ate with sinners, he ate with tax collectors, and he ate with all the hierarchy of the church. He knew people. He shared their lives. He wants us to be his body in his place. Who do you say I am? Amen.